Good morning and welcome back to the Wandering Out Loud podcast. I am Allison, your host for today's episode. Today's episode is going to be about purpose. What is purpose? A lot of people talk about how do you find your purpose and what is it supposed to be and all these ideas. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what I've experienced. So, what is purpose? Most people believe that you are here on this earth to fulfill some kind of destiny or purpose. You're here for a reason. People who are probably more spiritual than an actual religion might believe that before you were sent to, before you came to earth, you basically were told you need to do X, Y, Z. And when you get here, and if you don't, maybe you come back. Maybe you're sent back again. I don't know. But we are all here for a reason. I've always been told that my entire life. Well, you're here for a purpose. You're here to fulfill your destiny. And I have struggled with that. And here's why. When I was born with life-threatening complications. So basically, I was born and immediately transported to a children's hospital and thrown into surgery. Zipped me up basically, stitched me up, and not very prettily. I will say that. Where that from that surgery is, it's not pretty. And basically the doctor explained to my mother that I had a 50-50 shot at living, but they were not very convinced I would. And of course, this is all, passed down from different family members and my mother herself saying, you weren't supposed to be here, basically. You weren't supposed to live, you weren't supposed to be here. Well, great. So basically what I developed over the years and into childhood and even into adulthood sometimes, and that until recently, I guess, and that is almost survivor's guilt. Why me? Little old me. Why me? Why did I get to survive? And the survival rate back when I was born, in the early 1980s, yes, I'm going to age myself and I'm okay with it. But in the early 1980s, the survival rate of what I went through and what other babies were going through as well wasn't great. Now today, babies who were born with the same thing I had, they're not surgery anymore. They finally learned, doctors finally got a little bit smarter with technology. They got a little bit smarter about what they could do to help improve, a baby from surviving what they were born with. And so for that, it's they do a completely different procedure, and so the survival rate is much greater. But I was always told I'm different because I look different, kind of thing. And so it became this, well, why me? Why am I here? And you really, I think, as you get older and as if you're in your 20s or 30s, you might already kind of have this, especially in your 30s. But when it got to be my late 30s, it was, why me? Why am I here? I have no idea. I have not yet, I guess it hadn't been revealed on why I was here. It was, I'm living life. I got married. I have two beautiful children who, thankfully, I had no complications during, well, I take that back. I had a little complications with my son, but it had nothing to do with what happened to me when I was a kid and when I was a baby. And it had nothing to do with any of that. And so why was I here? Was I fully meant to be their mother? You bet. That I can tell you. But is that the only reason why I'm here? Do you feel that you've got this one big thing you're supposed to do on this earth and then you're done? I don't know if I believe that. I feel like you've got, potentially, you may have a bunch of things that you need to be here for. I think that you're supposed to meet people. People are brought into your life for a reason, and whether it's, for a long time or a short period of time or just briefly, meaning a moment in time, you could have an impact, and it's a rippling effect. And you can have many of those, and that could be your whole purpose. What is your purpose? I don't know. How do you find your purpose? Well, for me, it slapped me upside the head, basically, burned down my life, and I think I'm still figuring out the pieces. I have figured out some, and I think there's more. There's more to do. There's more work to do for me, and so it's the slow reveal. I'm not sure if it's a big, this is what it is, some dramatic event of this is what it is. And like I said, for me, for one of them, it's that I know I was put here for. I was put in this family. I was, I had these kids. I'm the reason why I'm the daughter of the parents I have. That kind of slapped me upside the head and was like, oh my gosh, is that what I'm here for? And I literally giggled. I'm not a giggler. If you know me at all, I'm not a giggler. But I giggled in that moment because I laughed in that moment because it was like, really? Okay. Let's do it. And so that's been a practice ever since. And so it's one of these things, of these small things. So what is purpose? It's why are you here? What are you meant to really, how are you going to, I think in some of it, okay, let's throw this question out here. How can you change the world? Maybe your purpose is how small or maybe big, depending on who you are. How can you change the world? How can you improve the world? And in your little area, because like I said, it is a ripple effect. Smiling at someone, saying good morning, doesn't have to be a long sit-down conversation, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years of a friendship. It can be a small moment. And so those add up, and those, have, like I said, have a ripple effect within the world. Being kind, I think, is the biggest one that, that you can have and do, no matter whether it's on your purpose list or not. I just think it's something I'd rather leave the world in a better place. So what else can you do? Share with me in the comments. What's something that you could do to, figure out your purpose, or has helped you figure out what you might be meant to be here for? Like I said, for me, my small purpose, part of it, I've already figured out. Bits and pieces I'm still figuring out. I know that there's more out there for me to do, and it's a slow reveal for me. I also think that how you might discover what your purpose is really leaning into moments, but also in questioning, maybe even like, why is this happening? Why am I going through this? Why was my reaction this? How can we improve that? But I think the two biggest things really, I'm gonna give you two things here that really help maybe figure out what's going to be next. One, always work on improving yourself. Always continue it. It is a journey. It is not a destination. I know I've heard that cliche phrase quite a bit, but it truly is a journey. It is every day waking up going, what else do I need to work on? And I do feel that the universe, God, whatever you believe in, will show you what else do I need to work on today. Giving up control, giving up, changing negative beliefs, whatever it is, helping somebody, whatever that may be. And then the other thing would be making yourself uncomfortable, doing something that you don't feel comfortable necessarily doing, or trying new things, that make you uncomfortable. Camping isn't that, well, I don't do camping. I'm sorry, nobody's ever, I tried camping. Let's put it out there. I tried it. I'm not a camper. I'll go hike, like a couple miles. We're good. I'll go hike. Love nature. Love hiking. Camping's not it for me. Obviously, I'm not going to go, for some reason, my kids started talking about we talked about Mount Everest the other day with them. That was pretty funny. So we're going to go. No, we're not climbing Mount Everest. We're not allowed. We will not survive. But trying small new things. Start small. and then grow bigger. I think that also helps you kind of discover. So whatever, share something in the comments, give me a follow, thumbs up, and I will see you at the next time. Have a wonderful day.